Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Wednesday, June 9th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I am live. Welcome to all my Facebook buds who come in here and watch me live and chat and we live it up. And welcome to all our lurkers who watch as well, but don't come in. That's all right. You should come in when you can. And finally, welcome to my YouTube friends. Glad to see everybody. Glad you can make it. It goes to video on Facebook, and it then goes to video on YouTube. All right. So let me know how the sound is, and hopefully we'll get this resolved. All right. Good grief, what a hassle. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom out. Okie dokie smoky. All right, guys. So, finally, tonight, I've got the adult coloring book, Vintage Classic Coloring Pages. And this is by Tatiana Stolova, and this is number 4. Yeah, it's a temporary fix, guys. And I just need to let you know I'm on a really big lag, so my response to commenting might be a little bit slower. I will be announcing the winner of the contest tomorrow. We've got a winner, but I want to resolve these issues first. Yee! Frustrating. Okay, like I said, my response are going to be really slow because of the lag. But that's okay. I'm broadcasting. We'll figure out the rest later on. Now, yesterday's problems were caused by an overall system lag, I found out. In the United States, a lot of servers were down. I was trying to sign up for a Roku account, couldn't do it. But hey, we will get through this. Okay, so new book for us. Oh, good, Sarah, yay. It's so much fun getting new pencils, I'll tell you. All right. So let's take a look at this book. I bought it, like I said, I purchased it. Actually, I purchased this a week ago, and it took this time to get in. So this is now in our library. And it's a really nifty book. Zoom in. So here's, of course, this book belongs to. Zoom in. And again, these are the number 5. Zoom out. And these are all the little fairy tales. So, for example, yeah, Tatiana's wonderful. Jack and the Beanstalk on this one. You guys can help me name these if I'm not sure what it is. Okay, I'm not sure on this one. If anybody knows this, The Girl on the Reindeer, not sure. And here is Sleeping Beauty with the Poison Apple. The Swan Princess, I think, on this one. Yeah, she could have fairy tales we don't have. That's exactly right. The Rooster, the Cat, and the Donkey. I know that's from something. Beautiful, this one with the Maiden in the Sea. Rumpelstiltskin, I believe. Yeah, with the weaving loom. I'm thinking, maybe. No, she's got a fairy. Oh well. Anyway, gorgeous, gorgeous book, guys. So I posted the affiliate link. We all know this one. I love these illustrations. Now, gotta tell you, these lines are lighter. I happen to like that. It allows for a little more freedom on things. I like this one, beautiful. So we've got the dragon all the way around here. Beautiful to color, guys. Putty tat. So I thought you guys would enjoy this book. That's why I picked it up. This would be drop dead gorgeous, wouldn't it? And I love these shingles. Those are fun to do. I just love Tatiana's stuff. And I hope you guys are enjoying this as well. This one, I think it's Scheherazade telling the prince the 101 stories. Cinderella. And this is the cover. So let me show you this and this. cute. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of them all? Whee! And the Princess and the Pea. This will be fun with all these different bed mattresses. Not sure on this one. But see, this is the kind of thing, if I were to see just this page, I could probably identify the author of the coloring book. Just her style. Hi, Laura Jean. And that's it. No duplicate pages, that's fine. Here's the back. Okay, Laura Jean, what do you mean see the coloring medias that I own? I've got like a ton. So, Tatiana Stolova, Vintage Classic Coloring Pages, number 4. All right. Let me get back to what I'm coloring here. So Laura Jean, what do you mean about the coloring media? Could you explain to me what you need on that? I've got 17 brands of pencils. I've got Ohuhu markers. I've got, thank you, Rhonda. I've got Cali Art markers. I've got glitter, add-ons. So as I'm broadcasting, you'll see them. Okay, so today I'm working on Age of Elegance by Ellie Marks. I'm using a combination of alcohol markers at the moment, water-based markers, and pencil. Zoom in. And let me pick up where I was last night. Last night was so much fun. I sure enjoyed, guys. All right. So I used a combination of, I used the alcohol marker on skin, still working on that, work down the eyes. Which also reminds me, sit tight for 1 second, guys. One of the techniques that we have done before is to use, I want you to see this, is to use the cellophane on eyes. And this is holographic cellophane. Now, I used glitter last night, but I want to show you how this is going to look with the holographic cellophane. Excuse my shadow. Me and my shadow. So what you want to do is just cut up little bits of cellophane. Very, very simple to do. And actually, one of my viewers thought of this. This was Stacy's idea. And you're going to see how cool this looks. And this will make sense in a moment. Okay. This is a great little technique for making eyes sparkle. And all you want to do is cut up your clear. Now, you can use a color if you want. So for example, zoom in. Zoom in. For example, if you wanted to add oomph to the green, you could use green cellophane. So let me put a little doobie of glue on here. And we're just going to take a little bit of cellophane, doesn't take much. And you want to take 2 or 3 pieces and put them right on there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Zoom in. And voila. What a beautiful shine on the eyes. Dot number 2. Now, it looks a little wonky close up, but trust me, it will make sense momentarily. And I'm just using Elmer's clear washable glue. Zoom out. Zoom out. There we go. You just got to move it around a little bit until you like what you got. All right. Now, this is the kind of stuff I like to do on my coloring pages. Zoom out. And this is what I encourage you to do. But, as I always say, The caveat is don't get stupid with it, okay? Gina, good. Gina, Papa Demetrio is in the room. From British Columbia, Canada. So I'm known for this. This is what I encourage you to add stuff. But like I said, don't get done with it. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I may do something with the bow later. Okay. Zoom in. So now you can see how cool those eyes look. Everybody see that? All right. Rhonda, can you see the screen okay? So now I'm going to continue. I was working on the flowers last night using marker and pencil. Zoom in. Yeah, the cellophane eyes just really do it. Okay. And because that glue dries clear, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Zoom in. Okay, and Rhonda, until you get your setup changed, you've got to let me know when you can't see something, and I'll do everything I can to accommodate you. Okay, now, zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and take a black pencil. You can do this with a dark gray as well. And I'm going to shade around my greenish blue flower, just on the very edge. Well, Rhonda, I know that you might feel a little funny about continually asking, and that's not a problem at all. Listen, we help each other here, right? This is what this group is all about. And you guys know, I say this all the time. If you can't see something, or I say something and it's not clear, and you don't say anything, what's the point? Right? We are family. Da, 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 da. Okay. So as you can see, I've taken a little bit of black. Oh my gosh, going on 9 years now. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of black. Watch this, guys. See this upper flower here? Zoom in. I have a master's degree in adult education as well. Oh, Gina, you ordered the Color and Pray book. Okay. All right, notice how I'm putting a little bit of shading black on the top of this flower here. And very, very sparsely, I mean just a hint, a little bit of black in between, I mean just a tad in between our veins of our flower. Now, don't go overboard with the veins, guys, or else it's going to look wonky. And if you need to, if you get a little over enthusiastic, blend it out with your blender pencil. Okay. Zoom out. Now, all of this is going to make sense as we progress in the coloring. Right now, it looks a little chaotic. It will. And this is why I get after you guys when you start getting discouraged about your pieces not looking good or not looking the way you want them to look. Don't make judgment on early colorings and early timelines on your pieces. Zoom out. Do not throw away your pieces if you make a mistake. Work around it. Okay. Now, we're going to have a lot of green in the background, the bushes, etc., etc. And again, depending on where you want to color, you know, everybody all the time says, well, where do I start? Where do I start? Now, I have no problem at all moving around my piece, as you know. It's whatever tickles my fancy at the moment. But there is a method to my madness, because as I look at things, I say, well, if I color this, this will help me with that. Zoom in. Zoom in. Oh, it's called the Color and Prayer book, Gina? So I'm going to go ahead and bring in, this is a reddish brown. I actually did not show a book this morning. Gina, you may have me confused with somebody else. Okay. So I always tell you guys, tint. Work in your color lightly. Why? Because it gives you a chance to make continuous decisions on how you want something to look. It saves wear and tear on your pencils. And it gives you an idea of how you're going to color the rest of your other pieces. Rita, hi! Our lady from San Antonio, New Mexico now. Love you, Rita. Now, also notice that this color is looking popcorny, and that means it's not going down into your paper all the way. So that means I'm going to take my blender pencil and smooth all this out. And notice the color change. This is another reason why you want to tint your piece, guys. I don't know why you're apologizing, Gina. That's fine. Now, notice, and this is another reason why you tint, that I just mentioned, look how that brown is completely changing. It is The Color and Pray, a biblical book for inspiration. Oh, okay. And Worship by Harper Design. Gina, when you get it, take a screenshot of the cover and post it. Okay, now I'm going to go back. And I'm going to start my highlighting. Same brown pencil. And again, the reason for tinting, right? If I had come in as dark as I'm doing now with this edge on the first go around, I wouldn't be able to do this, right? This is why I keep saying to you, when you first come in with your color, come in lightly. And use your colors as a roadmap then to what you want to do from that point on. Okay, I think that's another little puff ball up there. Hold on. Yeah. Now, that's another thing too, is if you guys miscolor something, don't freak out and say it ruined your picture. I bought a coloring book one day. It was a Johanna Bosford. Specifically for one picture, it was a reindeer with all the birds on the antlers. I was so excited. Started to color it, and instead of getting a brown, I got a purple. And I didn't know it until I started. I couldn't erase it enough. So I finished it. But it was kind of funny. I didn't get mad. I didn't throw it out. And now that's my story that I tell. Okay, now I'm going to take some black and I'm going to add a little bit of black to the tip. Of the leaves. And that's your story, Rhonda? Yeah, like you and your pink flamingo stork. That's right. That was funny. The sign of a good colorist, guys, is when you can screw something up and recoup it. Okay? All right, blender pencil. Blender, 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 blender. So I'm going to go ahead and blend my light and dark brown. I don't like how those edges are stark. blend your stuff in, guys. Much better. See that? Think about it when you see something on the street. You don't really see abrupt colors, right? Unless that's specific to the design. Zoom out. Let's take a look at this puppy. Zoom out. There we go. Okie dokie smoky. Now, I like to keep my spaces tidy. Zoom in. That's why you'll see me erase like I do. Anybody have any questions? Do you have any comments about what I did? Why? And the thing I want you to notice is this thing is building up to be a pretty elegant piece, right? Elegant. Pink or purple? Yeah, I'm leaning towards pink right now. Matilda. Malva. Zoom out. Melba has entered the room. Okay. Zoom in. Zoom in. I love it when you guys pop in. Oh, Amy. Good night, sweetie. I'm so glad you stopped by. Thank you. That touches my heart when you guys get home from work and you're dead tired and you still come in to say hello. Okie dokie smoky. Good night, Miss Amy. Okay. Zoom in. Yeah, you guys wait until Melba gets on here. She's going to show us how to draw a rose, and then she's going to both pencil color it and paint it. And then she's going to do skin with her pens. Okay. Alcohol marker, red. Deep red. Sarah is home drinking. Okay. Now, brown. On the outside of this red. Give it a little depth. Okay, Melba. Yeah, we can talk about that. I appreciate that. And then I'm going to make like a little cap on top of that. See that? And then I'm going to take a little bit of black lightly and add a little bit of shading, okay? Not much. On the edges. Looks a little wonky close up, but when you look at it from a distance, it looks pretty cool. And if you need to blend that just a little bit, and Rhonda is now seeing the importance of blender pencils. Zoom out. Zoom out. Everybody see that depth that we're starting to get? All right. Now, again, we all have different tastes. And if you're not keen on the coloring that I'm using, that's fine. I want you guys to see the method. Okay, so we've got 3 little poofies on here. Zoom in. Zoom in. A blender pencil is a color-free wax pencil that you use to blend the colors that you've already put down. Particularly when the color doesn't go into the paper correctly because either of the pencil brand or the quality of the paper. It literally pushes the pigment from the colored pencils around. Now, notice that I left some white spots on here. Does that answer your question? A blender pencil is absolutely critical to coloring. And now I'm taking my gold I like to use the Prismacolor blender pencil, but there is the Caran d'Arc. There is Kohinoor blenders. Can everybody see the gold and the brown that I've got on here? Yes, it's purchased separately, Laura Jean. Again, notice that I'm not filling in these circles all the way. Zoom out, zoom out. Laura Jean, these are the ones that I like to buy. They're the Prismacolor. And literally they're colored pencils without pigment in it. It's wax. And you use it to push around the pigment. Zoom in. Zoom in. Gel pens, sure, Laura Jean, that's what we do here in this group. I don't really blend gel pens because it's ink. Zoom in. Pearl. And I want you to notice that when I'm coloring now these little poofs, is that I'm making, see how I'm moving this darker brown around a little bit, kind of in an arc? Pearl, pearl, pearl. How's Jerry doing? Yeah, Laura Jean, it's, what I would do is I would post that question in the group. Yeah, you smudge gel pens with your fingers, exactly. That's how I do it. And you've got to do it when you, yes, I know the camera's bouncing. You've got to do it as soon as you put the ink down. Okay. So again, on my little poofs, lighter gold, spotting it, meaning I'm not filling in the white all the way. And then coming back with my gold. Zoom out. Zoom out. And does everybody see now how this hat is building up beautifully? Summertime. Okay. La-da-da-dum. What I really want to impress on you guys is you don't want to do flat coloring. That means you want to be using multiple colors in your areas, both in shade and also the colors themselves. It makes everything look so much better. I've got 3 colors here. Well, 2 colors, 2 shades here. No, yeah. 2 colors. And then the black tips. Okay. And zoom in. zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead and use my gold here. And I'm going to also use on this a bright yellow. Now, this is one of those things that your eyes don't necessarily see it, but your brain does. And that means that your brain is seeing the colors, but your eyes are not necessarily registering it. That's my camera. It makes a zoom sound. Zoom out. Zoom out. Everybody see how beautifully this is coming together. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. Light brown on the stems. Yeah, Maddie, I changed that up. When I let her out, her collar, I attached it to the lead that goes out my door, that goes along a runner that's on the ground. So her collar's there because it was getting a little distracting. Okay, so I've got, I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but I just didn't want it to keep distracting people. She's right here in my studio. Okay, notice guys, highlighting dark brown, not along the entire stem, and I'm just hitting a couple spots. And that gives us dimension of color. Don't feel that you have to fill everything in all the time. And excuse me while I get a little more water. Okay. Last flower in her hat. Light pearl. Light pearl. Light purple. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's here. Are you kidding? She knows when I end my broadcast that I stuff my face with like goldfish or pretzels or something like that. So the minute that happens, she gets off her dog bed, which is up here, and looks at me with those big eyes and wags her tail. Okay, so I'm going to shade at the top and the bottom. Now, when you have a curved flower like this, okay, you want to go ahead and follow that curve with your dark shading. So you go whoop, like that. See that? And I'm going to do that from the top down. Isn't that cool? And then I'm going to go back with my light purple. And I'm going to blend those together lightly. Now, if that gets a little too dark for you, which sometimes it can, that's one of those seemed like a good idea at the time. You can go back with your little Tombow eraser and just lighten that up. Now, but wait, there's more. We've got one leaf over another, or one petal over another, so I'm going to take a dark gray, and I'm going to add a little bit of shading underneath that overlap. Zoom out. There you go. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Not too shabby. Okay. And boy, do those eyes look cool. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a purple on the dress. Zoom in. This happens to be a Fila light purple, color 062. Oh, gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Excuse. Zoom in. Oh. Now, if you guys have problems filling in larger areas, thank you, Laura Jean. Purple's my favorite color. Zoom in. If you have problems filling in your white in larger areas like this is, this is where you can and should color in circles in different directions. In other words, you're trying to get that paper to accept your color. And again, this is totally paper dependent and pencil brand dependent. So don't get discouraged when you see this happening. It has not really, you know, you can control it a little bit, but I don't want you thinking you're doing something wrong. You're not. All right. And don't forget to rotate your pencil, right? And notice again, guys, I'm just tinting in this color. I'm not coming in with a heavy purple. Coloring is not a race, guys, right? By the way, I forgot to ask you guys because I got caught up in having so much problems getting signed on. So tell me something positive that happened to you today. Even if it's a little thing. Okay, so let's get in between here on our dress. Maddie says she bought a pizza and took it to her friend for dinner. Did your friend know it was coming, Maddie? That's cool. Maddie, feel free to bring me a pizza anytime. Oh, you didn't want her to have to make dinner. Oh, Maddie, that's great. Zoom out. Zoom out. Now, this is where zoom out. It can be very helpful to color in a large area to help you set the tone for your whole piece. Now, let's talk about that a minute. I chose to do the hat first, number one, because I just like bonnets. And number two, that helped me set my colors for the rest of it. If you wanted to do the dress because you're particularly in love with the style, that's cool too. Oh, it was a meat lover's pizza? Oh, you got Happy Mail? Didn't know, Pearl. Sorry. What did you get in Happy Mail, Pearl? Summertime, summertime, summertime. Age of Elegance. Yowza. Woohoo! Ellie Marks is going to wonder why she's having a run on her books. Somebody needs to send her a text. And Rhonda, yeah. Maddie's getting hers soon. Boy, you guys wait until you see what I have in mind coming up for you to show you. Summertime, summertime, summertime. Oh, man. I now know I'll never finish 99% of my books or wear out my pencils. Hey, I'd rather have a habit of coloring books than drugs, you know? Okie dokie. Whoops, I missed a couple areas, excuse me. I'll tell you what, I really enjoy just showing you guys the artwork in a lot of these books. All right, so we're gonna do, let me see here. So let's talk about the colors. I'm not going to color in her dress yet. I'm not gonna go on with that yet. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking on colors and why. So we've got some pink up here with the green, which looks really good. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with pink on the trim and also down here. Now, green would look great. It really would. But, we've got green in the background on the trees, and we're going to have it on the leaves and the berries, right? So we're going to have a lot of green on this. If this were a different background, I would go with the green on the bows. Now, that certainly doesn't mean that you can't do that, because it's fine. You just go with a different shade of green than what we're doing on here for the background. I'm not saying that that would be wrong to do green on this trim. Not at all. It's just my preference for the moment. What I am saying is, think it through as to what your background is. Okay? All right. Exactly, Pearl. That's what I'm thinking, is putting green there. Nice call. Zoom in. And again, whatever you choose is not wrong. Okay, everybody clear on that? Zoom in. Why is it so easy for you to call colors, but when you're coloring you hesitate? Yeah, I know. Zoom in. Zoom in. Pearl, you're overthinking it. And the other issue that you might be having is you might just be having problems visualizing. Because see, right now, I'm putting all this stuff in front of you and you're seeing it. I get a lot of questions about how do I start my coloring. And what I'll say to somebody is pick an area that you're certain about, that you want, and color that, and then work from there. I'm using alcohol marker. Zoom in. To lay my base color. And Pearl was thinking the green on the rickrack. Already was thinking about that. Nice call, Pearl. Now, somebody else in here might want to go with the dark purple. That's cool too. How did I pick the hat to start the page? Good night, Melba. Good night, Melba. Good night, Melba. Good night, Melba. So glad you were here with us tonight. Well, why did I pick the hat first? Because it attracted me. I like Victorian stuff. And I thought it would be fun to do. Guys, don't overthink your colorings. There's no right or wrong, guys, when you're picking your pieces to do. Please do not overthink your pieces. Zoom out. Zoom out. Boy, those eyes keep lighting up. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Yeah, I think though that rickrack is independent of the purple. Okay, so now I'm taking a darker pink and I'm going to shadow. This trim. And I'm going to shade at the bottom of the loop here, give that dimension. And on the insides. And we'll go on the inside here of the larger pieces. And remember guys, blend it out. You don't want just a dark line sitting there. So I outline the inner loop and then blend it out. It gets softer and softer towards the edge. Zoom out. And remember, keep turning your pencils, guys. Keep that point. Okay. Now, again, this ribbon here, I'm trying to get rid of as much of that black line as possible, right? Remember when I was talking about that yesterday? You don't see people going around with black edges on their clothing. So I'm going to outline my bow. I'm sorry, it's not a bow, it's still the rickrack. Zoom in. Outline, outline, shade. Outline, outline, shade. Anybody have any questions about this outlining deal? And does it make sense to you? Okay, the ribbon, just like I did under her cheek. Excuse me, chin. Cheek, chin, hey. outline. Now remember, by darkening this outside here, when you go to outline something like this, you've got to, it sets your shading. Because remember, when you outline from dark, you go from dark to lighter. See how I'm doing this? And that's creating a high point on the bow. Now, guys, let's go back to talking about this color suggestion and why I did the bonnet first. Like I said, I just happen to enjoy Victorian bonnets, and I was hot to trot to color it. It's okay to do the dress first if you want. I don't want you to get hung up on the mechanics, guys. But what I do want to say to you, and I'm going to use a little white in here, just to highlight that a little. Whoop. Is when you start something and you're going to go with it, go with it. All right? Don't kick yourself for choice of colors through the entire piece, because that sets a negative tone for the entire thing. Zoom out. Okay, now I'm going to take a dark gray. And it's better to use gray than it is black. Now, I do use black sometimes, but your darker gray is better. And I'm going to shade now a little bit on the edges. Not much. And remember, don't draw a single line. You want to blend it in. All right? You're adding, the purpose of the gray is to add depth, not color. Does that make sense? There we go. Blend your pencil. A little bit of gray where this comes together, where the button is. See how that highlights that? And same here. Does that make sense about the gray? You're not using it to add color, you're using it to highlight and make depth. Now, you can carry this a step further if you like. Not necessary. And shade that in just a little bit to give it depth and make that pop up. You just got to be careful when you do it. The idea is to get the gray to the outside. So it makes that center lighter and makes that stick up. And with this, you can go ahead and pop in a little bit of your white highlight. If you want, you don't have to. Zoom out. Every colorist has a different style on how they like to highlight things. And I want to show you those options. Okay. Now, and what I also want you to see, look at the difference between here and her cuffs now. See how more vibrant this looks? All right. Zoom in. Questions? All right. Zoom in. Darker edge. Work it in. Darker edge on top of the black. Work it in. See how that light center section starts to appear? Looks like an island. And guys, when I'm showing you something like this, I want you to think about your other coloring projects where this would give you an idea, okay? And then a little touch of gray in that channel, not much. Zoom out. Zoom out. And I want you now to look at the difference between the two sleeves. See how dimensional that looks over this one, right? That's your difference. All right. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. Missed a little bit of pink here. Darker towards the outside with my pink pencil. Covering that line. Blend it in. White island in the center. Pink pencil over my black to mitigate that as much as possible. Little bit of shading. Dark gray. Very light swipe. You don't need much on there at all. And you can even go back over it with pink to mitigate that gray if you need to. And if you wipe out your white line like I just did, oh my. Just erase it back in. There you go. Okay. Okie dokie smoky. So here's my trim. Maddie was asking about the center of this being open, where the dress is, and I'm choosing to make it all the green. So, base color of light green. And then a darker green to make our little island in the center. Of lighter color. Ah! Dang it. Don't keep breaking your pencil tips like I am. I'm on a tear today for some reason. Now, this green's pretty dark, so I'm not even going to bother with my gray. Oh man. But again, I'm outlining to get rid of that black. And I'm going to take my light green and just blend that up just a little more. So you can blend with your finger, you can blend with your white pencil, you can blend with your blender. All right, let's do this other side. Light green. And my dark green. And I'm doing a full color coverage of the green, but it didn't look like that, did it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Dark green. Now, you may wonder why you should put a dark green on a black line. Well, because that green is still tinting that black. So visually, it works. And then I'll take my light green and go back over this. Don't forget all your blending options, guys. And each blend option does something a little bit different, doesn't it? That's the point. Zoom out. And again, I'm not pressing hard at all when I go back over with my light green pencil. Zoom out. Zoom out. I think we're in pretty good shape. Zoom out. Does everybody see the depth and dimension on the piece? Okay. blender pencil on the purple of the dress. Now, depending on how soft your pencil is, it'll make a difference on how this blends. And sometimes you just have to really push. And also be sure when you're blending, guys, that your gray isn't coming up, because that happens sometimes. And that depends on the ink quality of the book that was printed. Okay. Zoom in. Now, I'm liking the shade of this dress, so I am not going to darken it with my pencils. I am, however, going to work marker over it. And they are water-based markers. And you will see why that is important right now, that I'm not going with alcohol. So I'm going to use this shade of purple as my base color. Zoom in. La-da-dum. And now the fun begins. Well, that's not right. The fun continues. And I hope this is helping somebody. Now, I'm going to stay on a little bit longer because I had so much problem signing on tonight. So probably about another half hour or so. Now, what I want you to see, zoom in. Is I'm doing a combination of things with my markers. I'm both blending them and I'm also spot touching them. And what that means is when I put down my color, I'm just pressing on the paper up and down with my finger. Okay? To blend it, when I put my color in, I move my finger a little bit and that smudges the marker. Now, I will be doing the smudging more on the outside. Because I want that to blend in. So you're either going to smudge or tap, depending on what effect that you want with the marker. If you want it darker, you tap. If you want it smudged or blended, excuse me, then you smudge. Is everybody clear on that? Ah! Now, if you're on an edge like this and you go to smudge, you want to smudge inward. Just practice it a little bit and you'll be fine. Good night, Miss Maddie. And you can achieve some absolutely beautiful results with something like this. Zoom out. Especially when you're doing fabric like I am. Okay. Rhonda, do you have any questions? Zoom out. Now, you could do this with colored pencil if you want. You could do it with chalks. I'm just choosing marker at the moment. And you can, Rhonda, you can use darker pencil. Perfectly copacetic. Okay. And I promise you that when you're using marker, it will become second nature to you to do this. It just gives a different look to the piece. Zoom in. Good night, Miss Pearl. So glad you could make it. Oh, that's okay. Just catch the end of the broadcast, sweetie. I'm running late because I was late starting because I had sound problems. Okay. Now again, during the process, looks a little wonky, but it will make sense. And this to me is like painting because I'm using the marker. Just a different process. It's like going on a trip. One person may take a train, the other person will drive. Zoom in. Now notice how I'm curving down here to account for the bust. And I'm just going ahead and adding a little shading to the sleeve over here. Zoom out. All right, let me get my hands out of the way so you can take a look at this. All right, let's do this other sleeve and then I will call it an evening. Don't let the process throw you guys. It really, actually, it's a lot of fun. Zoom in. Please, guys, don't be afraid of a new technique, okay? Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom in. Zoom in. Oop, a little closer, sorry. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. Now, I love using this method for shading around things. It's a soft way to do it. It's kind of like using gelatos. And it's just a different way of doing fabric. So let me do down by the sleeve here. And again, water-based markers, guys, on top of pencil. Zoom out. There you go. And grab your dark gray, zoom in, zoom in, and very, very lightly, I mean, I can't overemphasize how light you need to do this. It's so light you almost don't think it's there. You're going to put just a little bit of gray between the fabric. Zoom in. And the thing is, when you put it on, you're barely going to see it. But I promise you, your brain does. And it's just the hint . I mean, eventually I'm going to be doing it around these flowers, around these leaves, and these leaves will pop. Because that gray is there. It just tells your eye, it's telling your brain that the leaves are on top of the dress. Okay? Hi, Christine. And I'm telling you guys, it is so subtle. It really is. But your brain sees it. It really does. And your brain goes, wow, that looks pretty cool. And when I get the green on these leaves, along with the flower color, you'll see what I mean. Okay, let me go over here. Same type of thing here. And then I'm going to travel up the dress with the gray. Nope, it's gray. Most people think you should use black. You know, they think it's black and then they do, and then it gets way too dark. This is a slate gray. Okay, now here's the trick. When you're putting this gray on, you're going to look at that and think it's not there, but it is. And this is where people make mistakes with their coloring when it comes to this, is that they go darker with it because they think they should be seeing it themselves. And that's where they make their mistake. When you put this gray on, you go around, and do not color it in until you see it. Oop. Ah. That's the difference, guys. And again, this looks wonky close up, but you know I teach close up, right? It's going to look a little weird. And I'm sorry I accidentally got off camera. So these little poofies right here, you would expect that there's going to be a slight shadow. Why? Because they're higher, right? Zoom out. Zoom out. Do you guys see the depth on this whole thing now? Because I've just put that little bit of gray on there. That, guys, is going to make your differences. So this whole thing now has got a lot of depth here, especially around the poofies and around this trim, because your eye is seeing the shadow. That's what I want you to pick up. And use it very, very sparingly. Okay? Okie dokie smoky. Now, I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. That's just me. What's the best pencil sharpener for soft? Christine, I love my Linkyo. I mean, that's the one I recommend. I use it on all my pencils and I love it. All right. Zoom out. Can you any pencil sharpener? Oh, good night, Rhonda. I'm wrapping up as well. Christine, what's your question? Can you any pencil sharpener? Can you use anyone? Yeah, I mean, I use the Linkyo. It's Linkyo. Good night, Rhonda. Linkyo, and it's an affiliate list. And it's got a spin dial on it to accommodate any size of pencil. I love it. You're welcome, Christine. Okay, guys. Love ya. Zoom in. We're going to call it a night. Guys, joyous, joyous coloring. How can I end a broadcast without saying that? Zoom in. I'm so glad you could make it tonight. Sorry for the difficulty in starting up. But it happens. I'm going to call it an evening. Boy, her eyes really glisten, don't they? Oh my. Guys, love ya. Take care. Have a great rest of the evening. And I'll see you tomorrow night, same time. No, not the same time, 7 p.m., not 8 p.m. But same place. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.